to make himself permanently inaccessible to the possibility of being hurt again. Epictetus warned his students repeatedly about the trap of overcorrection. He taught that if a man has been pulled too far in one direction by passion or error, the correction must be measured. Measured. Not flung in the opposite direction with the same violence that created the original problem. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is to become measured. The goal is not to stop feeling deeply. The goal is to feel with the full force of your humanity while not allowing what you feel to govern what you decide. The goal is not to stop caring about people who deserve your care. The goal is to care with wisdom, with discernment, with the understanding that care without boundaries is not generosity, it is vulnerability that has failed to cultivate a guardian at the gate. Letting her go, or more precisely, letting go of the version of yourself that was always reaching for her, always performing for her, always measuring your worth by her response, does not mean becoming someone who cannot love or connect or open himself to another person. It means becoming someone who loves from a position of wholeness rather than from a position of need. That distinction is everything. Everything. A man who loves from wholeness can choose to stay or choose to go and remain whole in either case. A man who loves from need has already surrendered his own center before the relationship even begins, and he will keep surrendering it, incrementally and invisibly, until he has nothing left to give even when he genuinely wants to give. The Stoics called one version of this the practice of preferred indifference, a phrase that sounds contradictory until you sit with it long enough. You prefer certain outcomes. You prefer to be loved, appreciated, seen for what you actually are. You prefer the relationship to work, for the woman you have invested in to rise to meet the investment. You are not a stone. You are a man, and men feel. But you are not governed by those preferences. You do not collapse when they are not met. You do not become someone else when the preference goes unfulfilled. You continue forward. You remain rooted in your own character, in your own direction, in the inner citadel that belongs to you and only you, regardless of what she chooses. What she sees when she finally looks. Here is the part of this story that no one talks about honestly enough, because it requires setting aside both the bitterness of the wounded man and the performance of the healed one to look at what actually happens. At some point, not always, but often enough that it is worth examining, she looks. And what she sees when she finally looks is not what she expected. She expected to find the man she could always call back. The man who had been holding himself in reserve, waiting just beneath the surface of the change dynamic, ready to resume everything on her terms the moment she indicated